Paper Mario, one of Nintendo's most popular franchises. A geniusly crafted series containing all the ingredients for a perfect RPG. Well, at least it was a geniusly crafted RPG. Over the years, die-hard Paper Mario fans have watched the series turn from a brilliant RPG to a poorly made wannabe RPG. Many fans, including myself, can't help but wonder where this series went wrong. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the peak, fall, and steady, hopeful rise of the fan favorite series, Paper Mario. The first two Paper Mario games are considered the best in the series by a landslide. These two games in question are the original Paper Mario on the N64 and Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door on the GameCube. You might be wondering, why are these two considered the best in the series? The answer to that is simple. They're the only two RPGs in the entire series. Each installment in the Paper Mario series has managed to maintain the mechanics of an RPG, but they still don't quite work the way a good RPG is supposed to. Here's how the good Paper Mario games work. When Mario makes contact with an enemy, a turn-based battle will commence. Mario has a selection of partners to help him in battle. Mario and his partner will each get one turn to either attack, heal, defend, you know, the basic RPG stuff. Obviously, Mario and his partner only have a certain amount of HP. If Mario's partner runs out of HP, they will faint, and Mario will either have to revive them, swap partners, or keep fighting without them. If Mario's HP runs out, it's game over and you'll have to restart from your last save. In addition to worrying about HP, you'll have to worry about FP. Certain moves cost you FP. The more powerful the move, the more FP it'll cost. If you run low on either HP or FP, you can refill them using an item. Items can also be used to attack enemies, stun them, increase your attack power, and more. If all that's not powerful enough, Mario has the ability to use star power. Mario has a meter indicating how much star power he has. Each time Mario completes a chapter, he is rewarded a star and his star meter will grow. He'll also learn a new star move. Star moves, you guessed it, use star power. The better the move, the more star power is used. Star moves tend to be really valuable in tricky battles. In traditional RPG fashion, Mario can level up. Each time Mario levels up, you're given the choice to increase his HP by 5, his FP by 5, or his BP by 3. Oh right, there's BP. Throughout your journey, you'll collect badges that give you special abilities. Some badges cost more BP than others. These mechanics make for a phenomenally well-made RPG. And if it wasn't enough, each game has a really well planned out story. Don't worry, I won't spoil anything major if you haven't already played these games. In the first Paper Mario, Bowser builds a fortress underneath Peach's castle and lifts it into outer space. Wait, how did he do this exactly? Anyway, in the process of doing this, he blasts Mario back down to Earth using the Star Rod he stole from Starhaven. If Mario wants to get to Peach's castle and save her from Bowser, he must assemble all the Star Spirits to do so. The Thousand Year Door has an even more interesting story. Peach is kidnapped by these evil creatures known as X-Nauts, who intend to use her as part of their plan to open the Thousand Year Door. The door will only open if all 7 crystal stars are assembled. Mario must gather all 7 crystal stars in an attempt to stop the X-Nauts from doing it first. Meanwhile, Bowser is trying to do the same thing in the hopes that he can rescue Peach and potentially win her over. These two games will always be two of my all-time favorites. If only the series could have remained the same. After the success of the first two games, the third installment of the Paper Mario series went in a slightly different direction. By slightly different direction, I mean a completely different direction. Super Paper Mario, for whatever reason, made the bold decision to go from an RPG to a platformer. And by bold, I mean weird. Despite this, Super Paper Mario maintains certain elements of an RPG. Instead of working the way most Mario platformers do, where he dies in one hit unless he has a power-up, Mario has HP like he would in an RPG. His HP will level up as you progress through the game. Mario can also collect certain items to use on the fly. These items can heal him, hurt enemies, and more. During the adventure, you can also unlock new characters. In addition to Mario, you can play as Peach, Bowser, and Luigi. Each character comes with their own special abilities too. Mario can flip from 2D to 3D to make it past certain areas, Peach can float in the air and shield herself from attacks using her umbrella, Bowser has significantly higher attack power and can breathe fire, and Luigi has a super jump. You'll also unlock pixels. Pixels are these fairy-like things that give you certain abilities that will help you on your adventure. This game basically feels like if an RPG and a platformer had a baby. Now, you might be thinking, this game doesn't sound too bad. Sure, it's not an RPG like the last two, but it seems to have a lot of redeeming qualities. And you're absolutely right. This game is a superb platformer. Each of the 8 worlds in this game are full of life. This game has multiple in-depth characters, unique locations, and fun boss fights. This game's biggest selling point, however, is its story. I'd argue that this is one of, if not the best story in any Nintendo game ever. To avoid spoilers, I won't get into it, but the story is genius and keeps you on the edge of your seat the whole time. All things considered, this game is incredible. It will always be one of my all-time favorites. While it may have been worse than the first 2 games, I will always look back on this game as a masterpiece. So why do I consider it the fall of Paper Mario? That's because this was the start of the series deviating from the beloved RPG style it once possessed, and struggling to find mechanics to substitute for the old ones. While this fall isn't fatal for the series in any way, it's only the start. The fall has led us here, the pit. The 2 Paper Mario games I consider to be the pit of the franchise have extremely little redeeming value and are so unpopular in comparison to the rest of the series that some diehard Nintendo fans aren't even aware they exist. These 2 games are Paper Mario Sticker Star and Paper Mario Color Splash. These 2 games are more like RPGs in comparison to Super Paper Mario, but I consider these wannabe RPGs. There are some similar elements to RPGs found within these games, but the overall feeling of playing a true RPG is missing. These games are just too different from the gameplay of what an RPG should be. Sticker Star uses stickers as a means of attack, and Color Splash uses cards. Yay? Okay, so the gameplay sucks. But is there an interesting story? Interesting characters? Cool boss fights? These games are the definition of meh. While Super Paper Mario may not have been an RPG, at least it thoroughly succeeded in the genre it was going for and managed to cement its place in the Paper Mario franchise. There really isn't much else worth saying about these games. They're the most boring experience Paper Mario has to offer. The next 2 and final games we have to talk about offer some hope for the series. We'll start with Paper Mario: The Origami King. Origami King is the newest original installment in the Paper Mario franchise. The reason I believe this game could be a glimmer of hope for this plunging series is because it brings back the thing missing from Sticker Star and Color Splash: personality. This game has several interesting characters, worlds, and enemies going for it. The only areas I wish we saw more personality are boss fights and partners. I mean, seriously, one of the boss fights is pencils. Pencils! But like I said, partners are back, just not in the same way. Origami King has a puzzle approach to its enemy encounters. They're all standing on rings, and you have to line them up to either jump on them or hit them with your hammer. This is where the partners come in. Partners only tend to join your party for a certain segment in the story. The unfortunate thing is that you don't get to control them. They'll only attack a random enemy if they feel like it. I do wish these partners were a bit more interesting. I mean, one of them's just a Bob-omb without the fuse. The story for this game is also a little meh. You just have to destroy 5 ribbons to enter Peach's castle to stop the Origami King who's turning people into his origami underlings. While this game still isn't the return to the RPG mechanics fans were hoping for, it's a massive step in the right direction. This game is genuinely fun and worth playing, which is not something I can really say about Sticker Star or Color Splash. However, the game that gives even more hope than Paper Mario Origami King is the remake of the Thousand Year Door. This is the first return we've seen to the traditional RPG style Paper Mario since the original Thousand Year Door. Part of me is hopeful that this remake is Nintendo's way of easing us back into this style of Paper Mario before maybe releasing another game like this. But there's a good chance I'm being a little too optimistic. So after studying the patterns of this franchise, where did it go wrong? Well, I think what ruined this iconic series is the developers attempting to find unique gameplay mechanics when a traditional RPG would have sufficed. I mean, no one wants to use stickers or cards as a means of attacking enemies. The first two Paper Marios did fine standing alongside many other RPGs sharing its mechanics. The other thing that certainly ruined this franchise is the lack of interesting characters. What redeemed Super Paper Mario and the Origami King were interesting characters and interesting plotlines. Sticker Star and Color Splash not only had boring gameplay, but had boring storylines. Well, let's hope Nintendo plans on returning to Paper Mario's roots in the future and bring back the beloved RPG mechanics Nintendo fans have been dreaming for. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time, but until then, keep being awesome Nintendo fans. Peace out.